Hello guys, welcome back to LeetCode. So in our SQL series of solving LeetCode questions, I'm back with another brand new question, gameplay analysis. Okay, so without any delay, let's start with the question. In this question, we have this table activity. Okay, this activity column has table has four columns: player ID, device ID, event date, and game played. Okay, so this table has two primary keys. Okay, like the combination of two row columns is the primary key, player ID and event date. Okay, so event date and player ID is the primary key of this table. This table has the record of all the players logging to this game, and so this table contains the record of the data of all the players and their activity of some games. Okay, so each row is a record of a player who logged in and played a number of games. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to write a solution to report the fraction of players that logged in again on the day after the day they first logged in. Okay, so exactly what we have to do is we have to calculate the fraction. Okay, fraction of players who logged in today and then again logged in tomorrow. Okay, consecutive days pe they logged in, and then total number of players. So the fraction of the player who played and logged out today, and then again another day, the next consecutive day, he again logged in, and the divided by total number of players. Okay, and the result should be rounded to two decimal places. So this is our table, activity table. Here this is our example. Let's look at the example and understand what we have to do is. So these are all our players, and if you see this player ID 1 played on device ID 2, the date, the event date and the game. Okay, and then again this player played on that same device, played on the same device. Okay, and on the next consecutive day. Okay, this is 1st March and this is 2nd March. Then the second player played on 3rd device, okay, on this date. Fine. And this third player played on two different devices on two different dates. Okay, so if we check the fraction is 0.3. How it is 0.3? Because only one player, that is player ID 1, played on two consecutive days. Okay, that is 1st March and 2nd March on the same device. Okay, if we check on the same device. Okay, whereas the second player played once and the third player did not play it on consecutive days. Also the device was different. Okay, so we have to calculate the fraction. So the flow of our SQL query will be that first we will calculate the first date of that player. Okay, the very first date that player played the game. Okay, then what we will do is we will compare that first date with another date. Okay, as you can see, there are two players, 1 and player 3 played 2 times. Okay, but the date difference between those two dates are, the date difference is different. Okay, here the player 3, the player ID 3 has like 2 years date difference, but we want only consecutive days. The date difference should be 1. So player ID 1 has the date difference 1. Okay, so first what we will do is filter out the first date of that player. Okay, so for that we will select player ID. Okay, and we will use this minimum function to filter out the minimum date. Okay, that player playing on that first date. Okay, the very first date that player logged in. Okay, so minimum event date. Okay, now from where we are calculating this data? From our activity table, and we have to group it by player ID because we don't want one player to be present in two consecutive rows. Okay, player ID. Fine. So this query will give us all the players with the first time they played. Okay, if we run it and check it, so obviously we won't get correct answer over here, but if you see, we get all the first date those players logged in. Okay, if you see the table over here, so the first player logged in at 1st March as given in the table, the second player when that player logged in, and the third player. Okay, so we got our first date. अब क्या करेंगे, हम इस फर्स्ट डेट को कंपेयर करेंगे हमारी सारी डेट से कि कौन से प्लेयर का जो डेट डिफरेंस है वो 1 है. क्यों डेट डिफरेंस 1 है? क्योंकि हमें वो फ्रैक्शंस चाहिए दैट प्लेयर लॉग्ड इन अगेन ऑन द डे आफ्टर द नेक्स्ट डे. ओके, सो उसके लिए हम क्या करेंगे, हम इसको एक क्वेरी, इसको हम एज एन सब क्वेरी यूज करेंगे एंड वी विल नेम इट एज ए. ओके, एंड वी विल यूज लेफ्ट जॉइन ओवर हियर एंड वी विल जॉइन दिस टेबल विद द टेबल इटसेल्फ. ठीक है, हम इस टेबल को इसी के साथ ज्वाइन करेंगे टू कंपेयर द डेटा. ओके, सो लेफ्ट जॉइन एक्टिविटी बी. ओके, वी आर गिविंग द इंस्टेंसेस. ये एलियासेस है, मतलब कि कुछ इंस्टेंसेस है टेबल के जो हम कंपेयर कर रहे हैं. फाइन, नाउ नेक्स्ट थिंग इज हम किस बेसिस पे इनको कंपेयर कर रहे हैं. तो ए डॉट प्लेयर आईडी, जो प्लेयर आईडी है वो प्राइमरी की है. ठीक है, तो ये इक्वल होना, और हमें कौन से प्लेयर्स को मतलब कि कौन से प्लेयर्स को फिल्टर आउट करना है, वो प्लेयर आईडीज फिल्टर आउट करनी है जिनका जो डेट डिफरेंस है लॉग इन करने का वो सिर्फ 1 है. ठीक है, तो हम यहाँ पे एक और कंडीशन लगाएंगे कि द डेट डिफरेंस, तो जो डेट डिफरेंस है वो 1 होना चाहिए. ठीक है, ये हमारी कंडीशन हो गई. ओके, अब हमें क्या करना है, हमें कैलकुलेट करना है फ्रैक्शन. ठीक है, ये तो हमारा हो गया कि हमने फर्स्ट डेट निकाल ली, फिर कंपेयर कर लिया कि कौन सा प्लेयर ने लॉग इन किया था और उसका डेट डिफरेंस 1 है, कॉन्जिक्यूटिव डेज में कौन काम करता है. ठीक है, अब इसके बाद हम क्या करेंगे, हमारा मेन क्वेरी चलाएंगे सिलेक्ट. अब हमें फ्रैक्शन निकालना है, तो फ्रैक्शन कैसे निकलेगा, बी डॉट प्लेयर आई डी divided by a dot player id. Okay, this a dot player id has all the event dates, all the players who like जो पहली player id है. ठीक है, the first player id. Now अब ये जो काउंट, हमें इनका काउंट कैलकुलेट करना है. ठीक है, तो क्या करेंगे हम, काउंट. ओके, एंड द वैल्यू शुड बी डिस्टिंक्ट, मतलब डुप्लीकेट वैल्यूज नहीं होनी चाहिए. फाइन, सेम यहाँ पर भी करेंगे. हमें काउंट कैलकुलेट करना है, काउंट जो है वो डिवाइड होना चाहिए, काउंट एंड द वैल्यू शुड बी डिस्टिंक्ट. ठीक है, ये हो गया. अब जो हमारा रिजल्ट है वो बोला गया है कि अप टू 2 डेसिमल प्लेसेस होना चाहिए. तो हम यहाँ पे हमारा राउंड फंक्शन लगा देंगे. ठीक है, और ये कब तक होना चाहिए, अप टू 2 decimal places. We will name it as fraction. ठीक है, as shown in the table, fraction. And from where we are taking all this data? From this data. ठीक है, ये सब क्वेरी को हमने ज्वाइन करके जो डेट्स निकाली हैं उससे हम कंपेयर करके ये फ्रैक्शन कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं. So now let's run the query and check if it is correct or not. Okay, so here we haven't named a column, so we have to give a temporary name to this column. Okay, तो हम इससे event date लिखेंगे. Now let's run and check if it is correct or not. Okay, so our query is correct and we got our expected output. So do practice this on your LeetCode and let me know in comment section. Thank you for watching the video. Do like the video, subscribe SheCodes if you haven't subscribed, and bye bye. Happy coding.